Let's go on an adventure. We'll just be driving around, but let's see what it looks like. So someone might wonder, why would anyone want to put all this labor into cutting all these cedar trees down? And the reason is that they suck out a lot of moisture. Of course, right now in Oklahoma during the drought, there's a high fire danger. And things, when they get hot, the oil allows them to instantaneously combust. So even though there's just a few cedars in some parts of this, the reason why we want to go to all this trouble to take them all out is that the trees and the plants are getting all their water consumed by these invasive cedar trees. So it's a big, huge investment in time and labor, but we'll get better grass, better trees, it'll be better for the soil. And overall, it'll make the farm more healthy. So, it's a lot of work, a labor of love. But that's why I'm doing this. So here's a before look at this area. Sun is coming up. It is, I think I heard a high-low today. Or low-high. 84 degrees, so we're going to be getting after it. This area's got some pretty big cedars on the outside of it, some more huge cedars right here, but you're surprised how many oak trees are babies underneath these trees just ready to grow. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen once we get these cedar trees taken down. Every once in a while you find a baby cedar tree. What's a baby cedar tree? Depending what you ask. Here's a little guy. Here's another little guy. And here is an even littler little guy. So, all different sizes, all different shapes. This guy's a little bit bigger. There's actually 3 at least in there. Stepping into the timber. I've already been working a little bit, but they're not as big. We'll take some of these down real quick. This will help us reach our goal. Maybe stay in the shade a little bit here this morning. The wind is blowing, so that helps. This isn't a tiny tree, but you can imagine how much this oak tree and these other little oak trees will grow once we get rid of all these cedar trees. This is a huge investment in time and resources. So through the USDA here in Lincoln County, they help offset the cost by reimbursing us by the half acre or by the acre. Which helps pay for fuel and other expenses. Very happy that they're helping us with this. All 77 counties in Oklahoma offer this program. So although we also do the burning, the invasive species for blackberries, sumac, This is what we're signed up for, is particular cedar removal eradication. And you can see we got plenty of them. We're not doing the whole farm. We submitted our application and they told us what areas are the worst. And those are the areas that we're clearing. This is an area we already hit yesterday a little bit. Here's some of those baby oak trees. That first area that we hit, there's a lot of different types of oak trees. So for me, this is really exciting. I don't know if you can see these guys right here, but surrounded by cedars. These are all going to come out. You have to take every last one of them. There's a little baby one down there. A little bit bigger one. A lot bigger one. Mostly a lot bigger ones. Another baby one. These things grow about 3 feet a year. And here we're cutting, or have cut all these out already. They have to be pulled out still, but these are all cut. So I can only do about 25 per tank of gas. Once I do about 25 of these, I'm done. Might be 50. Some days I might do more than that. But running a chainsaw for a couple hours, for me, for some reason, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. I know Luke and Garran, they're doing a great job helping. So can't thank them enough for everything that they've done the last 2 summers to help me. There's some big raccoon tracks. You see their hand paw prints there on the fresh dirt. They break the cedar removal up in zones. This particular zone is a little over 3 acres. That first zone that we started on was a little half-acre tract because it was so dense, and I took my time. It took about a week. This 3-acre zone hopefully won't take too much longer than that, but we're working on total about 30 acres. Our property is quite a bit bigger than that, but that's what they approved cedar removal for, so that's what we're going to do. You can imagine how much different this will look once I drag these cedars out of here. Just wanted to give you a more up-to-date look at it. Talk a little bit more detail about the free government money. It's not free. It's a lot of hard work. But money to improve your property is better than a sharp stick in the eye. So we'll take it. Very happy to partner with the USDA. Just another look at some small trees, some small oak trees. This one in particular. See how these leaves come to a point versus this one, how they're rounded. So this is probably a white oak of some type. White oaks may not produce leaves, acorns as often, but they may be a more preferred acorn by deer or wildlife. So, although we do have lots of big bur oak trees, they probably produce, the majority of the trees on our property probably produce acorns or mast every year. White oaks may only do it every other year. Every species is a little bit different, but around the time that winter starts, they drop a lot of the acorns which the deer gorge themselves with to put on a lot of fat before rut. So, pretty interesting how nature works. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of our farm, our content, or what we're doing. So we are going to be able to haul these logs out through these little feeder roads that we made in the timber, which will allow more sunlight to hit the forest floor, which will allow more grass to grow. So we're just trying to keep improving on the property a little bit each year, being good stewards of what we've been blessed with, and hopefully the wildlife likes everything that we're doing as much as we do. But we still have a few more to go in this area. Here's another example of small oak trees waiting to take shape everywhere. These are the type of cedars that take a little bit more time to cut. They're not huge, but they definitely are. Quite a few right here. A large concentration of nice sized ones, which is more difficult. This is another example of almost a perfect oak tree. It's got these pointed needles. It's about 5 feet tall, maybe 6 feet tall. There's several of these in this area that we're going to try and save. Taking the moisture out of those cedars that we're cutting down allows those trees to get more nutrients and water. So that should help them get big and produce good acorns for years to come. Here's an example of 4 little cedars, but look how thick they are right here. Just all right here close together next to all these other trees. There's the hackberry and these oak trees. Another good look at the small cedars. Here's some really large ones you can see a little bit better in the background here. I would say those are at least 30 feet tall, probably 40 feet tall. I'm not sure. We do have some that are bigger than that. I'll show you those in a minute. But anyway, we're just going to continue today to work on this area. Looking back this way, here's another oak tree. I don't know if it's worth saving because it's got that spot in the middle where branches are kind of dying on it. But the main stalk is good, so we're going to try, see what we can do with that. But this particular cedar right here was all wrapped around it, probably trying to harm it, but we got it hopefully saved in time. Alright, so here's another oak tree I would definitely like to save. This is probably one of the biggest ones I've found so far. I'm not going to say it's the biggest one on the place, but it could be. This thing is I'd say 25 inches around, maybe 30, probably more around, but that's almost hard to describe how big that thing is at the base. I bet it's at least 25 to 30 inches across. You look up into that thing, it goes pretty big. I would say at least 16 feet up. That's crazy. Probably would like to keep this cedar tree, but it's got to go. This would be a great tree to put a deer stand in and hunt out of for years to come, but I'm getting rid of it. It's going to be sucking down tons of moisture, so time for it to go, just like the rest of them. It's kind of cool. These are what? Locusts. I think those are cicada that they crawl out of. They shed these. I like to play with these, put on my fingers as a kid. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before. It's pretty cool. Several of them right there on a row. Another one over there. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Again, this is an area that we worked on yesterday. So we already cut these and drove a few of these out of here. You can see what it looks like once the cedars are removed. It's a pretty good opening here. There's still like one over there, maybe more. And then all these nice sized ones right here. So this will go pretty quick in terms of days. But this is what we're going for, just kind of opening up the area and letting the natural light in, which right now these cedar trees are taking up all the water and all the light and all the nutrients. So that's what we're trying to get back. They may still look alike, but all these are cut. Just waiting for me to put a hook on them. Drag them out of here. It's important when you're doing this outside work in this heat, consume electrolytes and lots of water. So we're going to get after it. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. We'll show you some updates. Let's do this. And just like that, You have a before and after of this small area. That was about 20 trees. Again, thanks for watching. We'll keep you updated. This is what's going to happen next. The real big one, if you can see it, is right up here. Like me, many of you may think, well, it's not possible to cut trees when it's 100 degrees outside. And I wasn't thinking it was going to be a good idea either, but this is how it works better, is when you have an ice cold bath waiting for you free of charge at moment's notice. Whenever you get overheated, you just come get an ice bath. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna cool down. Not really a polar plunge, but it kind of is. It's not ice water, but it's very cold. Most of you, it would take your breath away. So this is how, when it's 100 degrees outside for days on the end, even starts off in the 80s, which is actually like a cold front, in the shade especially. This is what makes it work. As long as you can get in this thing as often as possible, that's where it's at. There's a 100-gallon tank, and also Element electrolytes. Give those guys a shout out. Instead of cramping up or having problems with your muscles, you can go days on end with their supplements of sodium, potassium, and other nutrients that your body needs, specially formulated. And my recommendation for people who are cutting trees, it takes a lot out of you, and Element puts a lot back in. This is how you get it extra cold and clean. As you overflow it, leave this one off. All the debris will rush over the top, leaving you with a nice, more ice cold product. We're going to get in here and enjoy this. Come along with me as we take a polar plunge. What makes it all better? The ability to cool off in the water. I'll be here for a little bit. Thanks for watching. next up. So this giant cedar tree is right here in front of us. That's what we're going to be taking down next. We're going to title this What Not to Do, or maybe What to Do if your chainsaw gets stuck in the tree. I have cut bigger trees, but that'll be the biggest one that I cut this year, or so far, 2026. Look how much sunlight that dropped in here. It's not gone yet. I'll come and hook onto it with a tractor, but that's a big tree. I'm here to tell you. May not look like it on camera. That one is a giant. You guessed it, we are back. We are ready for round number 2. This time we're just doing the half. And that will cool you down as well. Stay tuned. These were my grandpa's, I think. Many people can't buy these anymore. This one's seen some use. We'll see what this little tractor can do. You guessed it, folks. We are back, ready for more. I'm a glutton for punishment. You guys know what time it is. I'm gonna get after it. Wash your clothes, your body, and feel good all at the same time. This is the fourth time. I'm sure this won't be the last. This is Friday. I think it's the 14th. Hope y'all are having a good week. Bah! about does it for today's adventure. If you had fun, please hit the like and subscribe button and join us next time as we go on another adventure.